Hi, everyone. I'm back with Matt Van Vliet, and I'm Kimberly Cassidy. And today we're going to talk about how important it is to optimize your utilization. So, one of the things, as we've been talking through different topics with you, talk about how can we maximize your business and your visibility. A key thing in the services industry is to be able to optimize the utilization of your team members. Being able to see forward and understand, do I have 50% of my team on the bench? Do I have 10% of my team on the bench? Do I have no one on the bench? And understanding and being able to see down the sales pipeline so that you're able to fill that pipeline accordingly. So, Matt, what are some of the things, examples where you've seen in your experience that utilization has played a key role in how you're able to run the business, having that visibility or not having that visibility?
First of all, I think it plays a key role, and it actually affects. We talk about the business having to balance three different concerns. We've got to do things for our clients, we've got to do things for our people, and we've got to do things that keep our company healthy. A lot of times when we talk about utilizations, people go directly to, well, this is just about the company being healthy and making money. And I actually think that done right, managing your utilization helps your clients, helps your people, and helps the company be healthy, which is ultimately important for both of those other constituencies. So, an example of just keeping the company healthy, we can start with is when you have a bench, and you as different companies will have a different target. Some companies target near zero bench. Some companies target about 5%. The last company Kimberly and I worked for, we targeted 4 to 5% bench. And but then some companies will have a higher bench because they have much higher rates and are doing strategic type work. So the first thing is to know what is that percentage, and then what you're trying to do is make sure that you stay within that tolerance so that the company makes the amount of money it needs to based on the revenue that's coming in and so forth. So there's other areas. So from a people perspective, Kimberly, can you talk about why having a good process for managing your utilization is helpful to the people?
Absolutely. And I think it's easy to overlook the people aspect of it. If you think I have 100 people and 95 of them, I have a 5% target on the bench, 95 of them are occupied on projects, everybody's happy. But that may not be the case. If we want to target having people work on things that they're interested in working on, and that varies from person to person, right? Something I may be excited about, Matt may say that sounds awful, and vice versa. So not only, looking at hitting your bench targets, but making sure that we're moving towards having people work on things that they're interested in. People are more productive and excited that way and engaged, and it also helps your retention numbers, right? It gives you more client satisfaction because if your people are happy, your client's happy. If your client's happy, you're happy as a company because your client's going to recommend you to other people, right? The other piece with your people being is keeping an eye on, has somebody been on a client for 3 years? Are they getting stale in this client space? Have they been on the same project for an extended period of time? And do we need to rotate people? And the other impact that people have is vacation time. So if you've got a team of 10 people working on a project and it's the time of the year that three of them are going to be on vacation for a month, you can actually help your people by making sure they can take the vacation. You can help your client and company by, maybe having somebody who's on the bench come work on that project while those people are on vacation. It gives your bench person some experience and some billable time. It keeps your project moving forward. You're not taking a hit. It's showing the client a commitment to coverage, right? And you're not telling them, hey, I'm just going to cover while our folks are out. We're not going to charge you anything extra. And it helps you from a utilization standpoint as a company. So it feeds into all of those pieces. And we always would talk about balancing those three, balancing your people, your client, and your business. And when your people are happy and fulfilled and excited about what they're doing, again, it makes your client happy, which makes your business happy. And conversely, you also don't want someone sitting on the bench for a long time. It sounds like, people go, oh, I want to break. But a lot of times, your folks are on the bench, especially the kind of people we would always hire. They'd be on the bench for a very short period of time before they would get antsy and want to go do something that was billable. So making sure that you have a healthy bench, but that you have a healthy bench from a number standpoint, but also from a people standpoint, that you're rotating people and giving them opportunities.
Clients and people, and ultimately companies, right? they want certainty, and not they don't like surprises, right? So having a good process for managing your utilizations is key, right? If you go to a client in March and say in June and July there's going to be a lot of vacation, and so what we think we should do is add a second or an additional person so that you get as much work done as you've been getting done, and it shouldn't affect your budget because there'll be people out. That's a very proactive thing, and clients will appreciate that, and understand that you're just doing a really good job at managing the business. If you have the exact same conversation, um, and it's on a Friday, and you're saying on Monday, can we add this person to help you out because so and so's on vacation and I didn't know, and now we're not going to be able to get our deliverables done, and they're on the bench anyway, and I can't have that many people on the bench. You're going to seem like someone who's just out for what's right for your company. You're also going to seem like someone who doesn't have their act together, right? So having predictability and not surprises is critical, right? You may have a gap. I had consultants, so on the people side, I had consultants, and I was talking to them, and I'm saying, all right, well, we have some projects that are starting in August. It looks like in a couple months, you're going to be done in June. We're looking for something in between. And I've had consultants come and say, okay, well, can I take that month off? I want to take a leave of absence between these two projects. That would be great for me, right? And or I could take my vacation or what have you. And I don't like taking the vacation during a project. I'd love to take it between a project. And there's consultants that's a great thing for, right? Again, if you have that conversation the week before saying, hey, can you take vacation next week? That is going to be a surprise to a consultant. They're going to feel like now it's being used on the company's terms, not on their terms, and so being avoiding surprises is important. So there's really two things we can do to avoid surprises. One is to have a regular cadence that makes sure that this is always a first level concern and not being ignored. And second, having visibility far enough into the future so that with that cadence, you have the data to support that cadence. Kimberly, can you talk a little bit about the type of cadence we set up, and that when do we look at utilization, and how far out we look at utilization in order to manage this in a predictable way?
So the last time that we worked together, and I think we had the right cadence, we actually looked at things weekly. Every week we looked at our different event horizons, right? And there's degrees of certainty. So we're looking at 3, 6, 9 months out. You're 3 months out, you need to be very certain. You should be pretty certain about what's going on the next 3 months, right? There's always surprises. A client, loses funding, something happens, Joe breaks his leg and is out for a month. But overall, your 3 month horizon, your degree of certainty should be reasonably high. And then we start looking at 6 months out. And then we look at 9 months out. And our degree of certainty does waver as we get further out, but we still want to look at it. We want to have an understanding of what's coming down the line. Like Matt was talking about, if I know that in July I have a lot of people that are going to be out and it's 4 or 5 months from now, that's great. I can actually plan accordingly. I can plan to have someone ramp on a little bit early so I can tell the client I'm not just dumping somebody on your account fresh. I'm going to pay for them to be there for an extra couple weeks to get ramped up so that you don't take any kind of a hit. And then we're going to talk about that every week, and we're going to look at that every week because every week things change. Someone who wasn't going to take a month vacation now just decided they're going to go spend a month on the Appalachian Trail. Well, now my July looks different. Joe thought he was 90% certain that he had a project starting in April, and the client lost their funding and now it's not happening. And if we're not checking in on that weekly cadence, then it's really easy for, if even 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month out, it's really easy to get behind and get off target, right? It's kind of like when you're driving somewhere. If you realize that you've made a wrong turn, the sooner that you can correct that, the less out of the way you go before you're back on track to your destination.
So having that cadence that you're making those decisions, also make sure that you can then look at, well, what specific actions are what people going to take, and then you can follow up on that to see what happened on a regular basis. So we may decide, all right, we have more bench, 90 days from now than we want. What are the possibilities, right? What deals could extend? What new projects do we have? Who's doing what in order to help close those, and make sure we can manage those. So that cadence is essential so that we can make decisions, we can move. And it's also essential because we want to make sure that we always have up to date information and our data is clean and up to date, right? So there's the need to have a system that I can have all of this information in. But just as important is I need to have an organization that sees this as a first level concern, is keeping the information up to date so that I know what's happening and I can see what's going to happen. The other benefit of having that data up to date is is making sure that we don't lose deals, right? We have the opportunity to to place some people in, and if a client is asking whether we have the ability to staff something and we're uncertain, and we don't give a good answer, we may lose that opportunity to other people. So that's actually a topic we're going to be talking about here in the near future, and it really about how do we maximize um, you know our ability in not lose deals. And part of that is an offshoot of this topic of how do we manage our utilization. If we know who's available, when they're available, and we know strategies for handling it, we're going to be able to solve those problems a lot more quickly. Anything else on the utilization topic, Kimberly?
I think we touched on the our three key things, places we focus, right? How does utilization impact our people? How does it impact our clients, and how it impacts how we run our business, and being able to tie all of those things together and knowing that optimizing utilization is actually key to running a successful services business, and having the visibility and the cadence and alignment around what we're marching to as an organization, so that as we're hitting that cadence, we know what we're targeting a certain bench, we're targeting a certain revenue, that we're all on the same page on what we're targeting, and that we're hitting a cadence to make sure that we're on track for where we need to be.
All right, thanks. We will talk to you more later. Like or subscribe to this in order to hear more talks like this, and add some comments and if there's areas that you want us to drill into further.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Hal.